Guys, bit of a weird maths lesson today. So I figured because we're doing measurement for the next few days, I figured it would be quite fun to do a little fun lesson. So we're going to be designing a Martian today in our maths lesson. So you guys have done a little bit of work hopefully on shapes and how to draw simple shapes in your maths presentation for today's work. And now you're going to use that understanding and that knowledge to draw your own Martians. So if you're doing one smiley face or two smiley faces, I've given you the shapes that I want you to draw. And I've also given you some squared paper to use. So you need to count the cubes to make your Martians. If you're doing three smiley faces, which I actually hope everyone has a go at because it's so much more fun, I'd like you to draw me your own space Martian, and you can either choose to do your Martian on the squared paper and to count the squares for your measurements, or you could use a ruler like I taught you yesterday, and you could measure your space Martian using centimeters and millimeters like I've just been doing. So I'm going to show you my example one that I did just now. So this is my space Martian, which I actually think looks a little bit like a space giraffe. I don't know why it looks like that, it just does. So this is my space Martian. Haven't coloured it in yet, but I figured it was best to show you this right now so you can see all the details and stuff. So I've got a rectangle there, which I labelled rectangle, and I've also written the measurements. I forgot the measurements there, sorry. That's 1 cm, that's 4 cm. I've got the 4 cm there written for my square, it's labelled square there. I've got the 2.5 cm for my triangle part. I've got my 2 cm there for my rectangle here, my rectangle, 2 cm and 9 cm, that's a 1 cm gap in between there. So can you see that I've written all of my measurements for all of my shapes here? That is super important because that's kind of today's learning, is about being able to make shapes and being able to make sure that we're measuring them really, really accurately. And then I've decided to divide this rectangle into little triangles. So then I would also need to measure that line there and that line there to make sure that they're even or equal. Or if you want to make it an unequal triangle, that's fine by me. But you need to measure both of the sides there then. I've got my big octagon, which I tried to make a regular octagon, but it turned out as an irregular octagon, which is fine. I just need to make sure that I've got the 4 cm written there and the 5 cm written there. So I would actually need to measure all of those different sides if it's an irregular octagon to make sure that I've got all of the measurements written on there. I decided to divide my body into little triangles, so I've labelled it triangle, and I've also written the measurements there. You just need to make sure that you're labelling all of your different shapes with all of the names. Try and use as many shapes as you can humanly possibly think of. I'd love to see a quadrilateral in there. I'd also love to see a trapezium. I'd love to see a septagon, and goodness knows what else. I can't think of any more shapes right now. I'm having a brain freeze. And after you're done, colour it in and take a picture of it and send it to me, and have so much fun with this task. I figured it was a bit of a nice task to give you a bit of a break from just number crunching. Have fun!